All right, get ready, because we are diving into the Patong Condo market.
In Phuket, Thailand.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that you're considering buying a place there.
Yeah.
So we've been going through a ton of articles and investment guides and even some local intel just to give you the inside track on what's going on in Patong.
Yeah.
And one thing that really surprised me, one little tidbit that jumped out at me, was how strong rental yields are looking in Patong right now.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting is Patong
It's
is,
not just a beach town.
it's not just your typical beach town. No, it's got this really,
Like electric mix?
yeah, it's got like this electric mix of chill beach vibes and then like this bustling city energy.
Right.
So, if you're picturing like a serene escape, you might want to rethink it because this place is dynamic, it's lively.
It's a little bit crazy.
It's perfect for somebody who thrives on that kind of atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
So let's get down to, the numbers of it all.
Brass tacks, yeah.
Our research shows that the median list price for Patong condos is hovering around $7,503,894.
Wow.
Now, a lot of people just see a number like that and they're like, okay. But I'm kind of curious about what the bigger picture is here.
Right.
What did that tell us about the health of the market?
Well, that median price is really interesting. It suggests a level of stability that you don't often see in these resort areas.
Okay.
And that tells me that it's not a market that's prone to like wild swings,
Right.
which is good news for investors who are looking for that steady long-term growth.
Right, that's good.
Yeah. And when you couple that with the median rent price, which sits around $36,929.
Hold on, we're talking rental income already.
We're talking
All ears.
We're talking rental income, yeah. And those figures translate to a gross rental yield of 5.9%.
Wow.
And that's pretty significant.
That is significant.
Because it means if you play your cards right, you could potentially be looking at almost a 6% return annually just from renting out your condo.
Yeah.
And that's not even...
That's incredible.
Yeah, and that's not even factoring in, like, appreciation of the property.
Exactly.
And we found condos available from $2,999,999,999 all the way up to $57,537,800.
Wow.
That's a pretty wide range.
That's a huge range.
And that tells me that there's something for everybody's budget in Patong.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah.
This is all great news for buyers, but
Uh-uh.
location, right?
You're absolutely right. Location is king.
Yeah.
It's so important.
So what are the hot spots? What are the places where people are clamoring to be in Patong?
Yeah, it's no surprise that the areas closest to the beach are really highly sought after.
Sure.
Imagine stepping out your door and being right there on the sand.
Pretty tempting.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty tempting.
Yeah.
But it's not just about beachfront. Areas that are close to that buzzing nightlife and restaurant scene,
Right.
those are also in really high demand.
So beach access is a no-brainer, but what about specific features within a condo itself? What should somebody be prioritizing if they're really serious about buying?
That's a really smart question. Personally, I would be looking for those modern must-haves,
Okay.
like well-equipped gym,
Of course.
a nice swimming pool, maybe a rooftop terrace or garden.
Ooh, rooftop garden. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, co-working spaces are becoming increasingly popular,
Right.
especially if you're part of that remote work crowd.
Especially now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But don't just focus on the fun stuff.
You're right.
You need to think about...
Security and privacy, that's super important.
Exactly. And that's especially important in a place like Patong, which is so lively.
It is lively.
Yeah, features like 24/7 security, secure entry points, even things like soundproofing.
Soundproofing, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can really make a difference in terms of how safe and comfortable you feel in your own space.
absolutely. It really does.
Yeah, definitely.
So we've got some specific condo developments that we found in our research that seem to be generating a lot of buzz. And those are the Deck Patong, Emerald Terrace Resort, and Absolute Twin Sands.
Oh, I've heard of those.
Have you heard of these? Have you come across any of these?
I have,
Oh.
yeah. The Deck Patong, that's all about location.
Okay.
It's right in the heart of things, so it's perfect if you want to be just steps away from all the action.
If you want to be in it, in the mix, that's the spot.
Exactly, yeah. Now, Emerald Terrace Resort, that's a bit further out. It's about 800 meters from the beach.
Okay.
So it offers a little bit more tranquility.
Get that quieter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Absolute Twin Sand, that one sounds pretty luxurious, doesn't it?
This one sounds fancy, doesn't it?
It's definitely leaning towards the high end.
Okay.
It's actually situated between Patong Beach and Tri Trang Beach, which is known for its peaceful atmosphere.
Oh, I see. So you're getting, so you kind of
Items, like
get,
a little bit of both worlds.
yeah, you get the best of both worlds there.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay, so let's kind of circle back to the investment potential for a second, because we talked about that 5.9% average gross rental yield, which is pretty impressive.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah.
But what else should potential buyers keep in mind when they're thinking about returns on a Patong condo?
Well, aside from rental income, don't underestimate the power of long-term value appreciation.
Okay.
Patong is a tourism magnet, and it's constantly evolving.
Constantly changing, right?
Exactly. So it's reasonable to expect that those property values are going to continue rising over time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But, and this is a big but,
Yeah, the good butt.
it's really crucial to be aware of the rules surrounding foreign ownership in Thailand.
All right, we can't forget about the regulations.
Yes, absolutely.
Right, so you mentioned earlier that there's a 49% limit on foreign ownership within a condo building.
Right.
Can you unpack that a little bit for us?
Absolutely. So basically what this means is that a minimum of 51% of the units in any given condo building have to be owned by Thai nationals. It's not unusual in Southeast Asia,
Sure.
but it's definitely something that you want to be aware of before you make a purchase.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Definitely.
So finding a development that complies with those regulations is kind of a must.
It's essential, yeah.
But let's kind of shift gears a little bit and talk about the Patong lifestyle.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
You mentioned earlier you were talking about, bustling night markets.
Yes.
Paint us a picture of what it's actually like to experience one of those firsthand.
Okay, so picture this. You're wandering through this maze of stalls.
Okay.
The air is thick with the scent of spices and sizzling street food.
Ooh.
And everywhere you look, there are vibrant colors and these unique souvenirs.
So it's a feast for the senses.
It really is. It's an
Yeah.
assault on the senses, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can haggle with vendors. You can sample these exotic treats that you've never even seen before, and you just kind of soak in that energy of Patong after dark.
That's amazing. And the food scene, I've heard, it's pretty incredible.
Oh, it's a foodie's paradise.
Yeah.
You've got authentic Thai dishes, fresh seafood,
Oh,
and pretty much every international cuisine you can imagine.
okay.
It's all here.
Wow.
Whether you're craving a romantic dinner on the beach, or a quick bite from a street vendor, or a fine dining experience, Patong's got it all.
That's amazing. Okay, so we've got beaches, nightlife, food. What about those who want to get active?
Oh, Patong doesn't disappoint on that front either.
Oh, okay.
The beaches are perfect for swimming, sunbathing, water sports. If you're feeling adventurous, you can hop on a long-tail boat, explore those nearby islands.
That's cool.
Yeah, or if you're more of a landlubber, there are hiking trails, golf courses. You can even go zip-lining through the jungle.
Oh, wow. Okay. It seems like there's really something for everyone.
There really is. Okay,
It's
so
hard to be bored in Patong.
we've been focusing so much on Patong, but what about other areas in Phuket?
Yeah.
What else is out there? How do they compare? Yeah, that's a great point. Phuket has so much to offer beyond just Patong. For example, if you prefer a quieter, more family-friendly atmosphere, Coron and Kaida Beach might be more your speed.
Yeah.
They have beautiful beaches, and they've got that more laid-back vibe.
All right. What about, people who are seeking a more luxurious experience?
Kamala and Surin Beach are known for their upscale properties.
Okay.
Stunning ocean views. Think infinity pools, private beach access, and just a more sophisticated crowd.
Fancy.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
like it.
And then you mentioned Shillong and Katu as well.
Yeah.
Those areas have a more local feel.
Okay.
It's a real blend of modern conveniences and traditional Thai culture. Condos there tend to be more affordable, but you're still within easy reach of all of Phuket's main attractions.
That's nice, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so many options.
so many options.
It's clear that choosing the right location is a big part of this process.
It's a huge part of the process.
Yeah. But what about the actual buying process itself?
Yeah.
Because it can feel kind of daunting,
Yeah, it can be daunting, yeah.
especially when you're dealing with a foreign market.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where does someone even begin?
Well, that's where a good real estate agent comes in.
Okay,
You want to think of them as your trusted guide.
go.
They'll help you navigate the market, find properties that match your criteria, handle all those negotiations.
So it's like having a local expert in your corner.
Exactly. You want somebody who knows the ins and outs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But beyond just finding an agent, due diligence is crucial. Hiring a lawyer who specializes in Thai property law is an absolute must.
We can't stress that enough.
You really can't. They'll make sure that everything is legitimate and that your interests are protected.
Okay. Now, before we move on, I want to touch on something we mentioned earlier, and that is the 49% foreign ownership rule.
Right.
What are the real implications of this for someone who's actually thinking about buying a condo in Patong?
Yeah, that's an important question. Because that rule does impact investment strategies.
Yeah.
For example, it can affect the potential resale value of your condo down the line, as your pool of potential buyers is automatically smaller.
Right.
So it's important to really have a long-term view and factor that in from the very beginning.
That's a really great point. So even though the rental yields are super enticing, it's not just about the short-term gains.
Exactly.
It's about
It's about the long game.
exactly the long game. Now, let's talk about something that's become increasingly important to buyers these days, and that is sustainability.
Yes, that's so important.
What are we seeing in terms of eco-friendly condos in Patong?
It's actually really exciting to see this shift towards sustainability here.
Okay.
Developers are really getting on board, and we're seeing more and more condos incorporating those green building practices, energy efficient features, and even those community initiatives that are really promoting a more eco-conscious lifestyle.
Can you give us some concrete examples? What should buyers be looking for?
Absolutely. Think about things like solar panels,
Okay.
rainwater harvesting systems,
So-
energy-saving appliances, and even community gardens.
Okay.
These aren't just like trendy additions. They make a real difference for both the environment and your wallet in the long run.
Yeah, it's amazing how those features can actually benefit both the planet and the individual owner.
Absolutely. It's a win-win.
All right. Now, let's talk about something I think a lot of buyers get excited about, and that's customization.
Yes.
What trends are we seeing in Patong condo design, and how can people personalize their space?
Personalization is key. You want your condo to reflect your style and your needs. And the trends here in Patong, they're kind of leaning towards modern minimalism,
Okay.
using natural materials, incorporating lots of light. Open floor plans are also really popular.
Yeah.
And don't underestimate the impact of good storage solutions.
Right.
Built-ins are a great way to maximize space, especially in those smaller units.
All of this is making me want to start looking at floor plans.
I know, me too.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's talk about the financial side of things.
Yes, let's do that.
Buying a condo is a big investment.
It is a big investment.
So can you break down the financing options that are available in Patong?
Of course. The most common way to finance a condo purchase is through a mortgage.
Sure.
Banks in Thailand offer various loan packages,
Right.
and interest rates typically range from 3% to 5%, depending on the terms and your financial profile.
Okay, so it's smart to shop around and compare rates from different banks.
Absolutely. Don't just settle for the first offer you get.
Right.
Take your time, do your research, find the best deal for your situation.
What about those who might not qualify for a traditional mortgage?
Yeah.
Are there other financing options to consider?
There are, yeah. You could look into personal loans, borrowing against existing assets, and even some developers have financing schemes.
Okay.
Developer financing can be particularly appealing to foreign buyers
Okay.
because it tends to be more flexible.
It sounds like there are more options than people realize.
There are definitely more options than people realize, yeah.
I know we've thrown a lot of information at you in this first part of our deep dive.
It's a lot to take in.
We've talked about market trends, sought-after locations, the buying process, sustainability, and even financing.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But before we move on, is there anything else about Patong condo investments that we absolutely have to cover?
You know, we've touched on a lot of the essentials,
Yeah.
but one thing I really want to emphasize is the importance of having a solid financial plan.
Okay.
You know, buying a condo, especially in a foreign country, it's a significant financial undertaking.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal, yeah. So before you jump in, it's crucial to have that clear budget, understand your financial limits, and really consider those long-term goals.
That's great advice. I think it's easy to get swept up at the excitement of buying, a dream vacation home.
Exactly.
But having that solid financial foundation is absolutely essential.
It's essential.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground,
But
but
we've only just begun.
we've only just begun. Stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive, where we're going to explore even more nuanced aspects of the Patong condo market, and we're going to uncover some hidden gems
Yes.
that you won't find in those generic guidebooks.
You won't find them there.
All right, see you soon.
See you then.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the Patong condo market. So we've kind of set the stage, and now it's time to zoom in on some of those specifics that can really make or break your investment decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that I've been thinking about is just the actual, nuts and bolts of the buying process
Right.
because it can feel kind of like a black box, especially when you're dealing with a foreign market.
Yeah.
So, like, what are the key steps involved? Where do you even begin?
Well, that's a really common concern. And, the process might seem a little unfamiliar at first,
Yeah.
but it's actually pretty straightforward. The first thing you want to do is find a reputable real estate agent.
Okay.
And you really want to think of them as like your partner in this journey.
Because they'll help you navigate the market.
Right.
Find those properties that fit your needs and even negotiate on your behalf.
So having a local expert who really knows, the ins and outs is crucial.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They can save you a lot of time, money, and headaches, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But beyond finding an agent, you absolutely cannot skip thorough due diligence.
Right.
And that means hiring a lawyer who specializes in Thai property law.
Got it.
They'll make sure all the paperwork is in order, that the property is legally sound, and that, most importantly, your interests are protected.
We can't stress enough the importance of having a lawyer on your side.
You really can't.
Yeah.
Especially when you're dealing with, foreign transactions and legalities.
Right. And even with a lawyer, there are just some aspects of buying overseas that can be tricky, right?
Right.
So, like, for example, we talked about the 49% foreign ownership rule.
Yes.
How does that actually play out in practice?
Yeah, so that rule definitely adds a layer of complexity to things. So essentially, you can own a condo outright in Thailand,
Okay.
but within each building, at least 51% of the units have to be owned by Thai nationals.
Got it.
Your lawyer will help you verify that any development that you're interested in complies with these regulations.
Okay.
But it also has implications for resale.
Okay.
Because,
So it's not just about finding a condo that you love, but it's about also thinking about like that long-term investment potential.
Exactly. So that 49% cap means that your pool of potential buyers down the line is automatically smaller.
Right.
So it's something that savvy investors really need to keep in mind from the very get-go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Now, beyond the legalities, another crucial step is the property inspection.
Okay.
Before you sign on that dotted line, you really want to thoroughly examine the condo.
Okay.
Check everything. Plumbing, electrical systems, overall condition, any potential red flags.
Some might argue that professional inspections are, an unnecessary expense.
Right.
What's your take on that?
I would say it's an investment worth making,
Okay.
especially if you're not familiar with local construction standards.
Right.
A professional inspector will have a trained eye,
Sure.
and they can spot those issues that you might miss.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's better to be safe than sorry,
Right.
especially when you're making such a significant financial commitment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about location, we've talked about features, we've talked about the buying process, we've talked about the legal side of things. But now let's really dive into like the Patong lifestyle.
Yes.
What's it really like to actually live in this vibrant hub?
Patong is all about energy and diversity.
Okay.
It's where East meets West.
Okay.
It's where you can find everything from those serene beaches to those bustling night markets,
Right.
and where the culinary scene is a true adventure in itself.
Okay.
So let's start with those night markets. Imagine, just picture this,
Yeah.
this kaleidoscope of sights, sounds, and smells. You've got vendors hawking everything from silk scarves to handcrafted jewelry.
Wow.
The aroma of sizzling street food just filling the air,
Wow.
and this buzz of excited chatter all around you.
Yeah, now I'm getting FOMO.
I know, right?
Yeah. You mentioned the food. Tell me more about what culinary delights await in Patong.
So get ready for a gastronomic journey.
Oh,
You've got authentic Thai curries, fresh-caught seafood grilled to perfection,
Ooh, yeah.
tropical fruits that you've probably never even heard of. It's
Right.
all here.
Wow.
And don't forget those international options because Patong really caters to every taste bud.
Okay.
So whether you're looking for casual street eats
Right.
or upscale restaurants with stunning ocean views, Patong has it all.
It sounds amazing. But I know Patong is also really famous for its nightlife.
Right.
What's the scene like for someone who loves to, really experience a city after dark?
Oh, Patong comes alive when the sun goes down.
Okay.
Picture neon lights, pulsating music spilling out from bars and clubs.
Or in a crowd that's just ready to party.
Okay.
So whether you're looking for a laid-back beach bar or a high-energy nightclub, Patong's got it.
Got it.
But for those who prefer a quieter evening, there are plenty of rooftop bars where you can sip cocktails
Right.
and just enjoy those panoramic views of the city.
Okay, so Patong really does seem to have it all.
It really does.
Beaches, nightlife, amazing food.
Right. It's hard to beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about those people who want to, kind of get their adrenaline pumping? Are there any, like, adventure activities in and around Patong?
Oh, absolutely. The surrounding area is just like perfect for outdoor enthusiasts.
Okay.
You can explore those hidden coves and secluded beaches by longtail boat,
Yeah.
go snorkeling or diving in crystal clear waters,
Whoa.
or even hike through lush jungles to cascading waterfalls.
So you're telling me I can go from, like, dancing the night away
Yeah,
to, like, exploring hidden waterfalls in the span of a day?
you absolutely can.
Sign me up.
Yeah, it's a pretty incredible place.
Yeah.
But let's be realistic, Patong's energy might not be for everyone.
Right.
You mentioned, other areas in Phuket earlier.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little bit more insight into those alternatives? Like, for example, if Patong's a little too much, where else do you go?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's all about finding the right fit.
Right.
If Patong's vibrancy feels a bit overwhelming, Caron and Kata Beach offer a more relaxed vibe.
Okay.
Think pristine beaches that are perfect for families,
Right.
charming local restaurants, and just a slower pace of life.
Okay, what about Kamala and Surin Beach? What draws people to those areas?
Those are your go-to spots for luxury and tranquility.
Okay.
Think high-end resorts, stunning villas, and, a more sophisticated crowd.
Fancy.
Exactly, yeah.
I like it.
The beaches there are just absolutely breathtaking.
Nice.
And you'll find a great selection of fine dining restaurants and upscale boutiques.
Okay, and you mentioned Chalong and Katu as well.
Yes.
What's the appeal there?
So those areas offer a more authentic Thai experience. Okay.
They're a bit less touristy, so you can really immerse yourself in that local culture, explore traditional markets, and discover those hidden gems that most tourists never even find.
Right, you get off the beaten path.
Exactly. And plus, condos in those areas tend to be more affordable,
Okay.
which makes them a great option for those budget-conscious buyers.
That's good to know. It's clear that Phuket really has, like, a diverse range of locations,
Yeah, so much variety.
each with their own unique charm. But let's kind of shift gears a little bit here and talk specifically to those, first-time condo buyers out there.
Yeah.
What are some, like, essential tips that they should keep in mind?
Well, first and foremost, don't underestimate the power of research.
Okay.
Go beyond those glossy brochures and those marketing materials.
Right.
Dig into the recent sales data,
Ah.
analyze market trends, really get a sense of what properties are actually going for in different areas.
So knowledge is power when it comes to making a smart purchase.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
speaking of power, don't be afraid to negotiate.
Negotiation is a very common practice here in Thailand.
Right.
It's expected. So have your agent work on your behalf.
Okay.
Be prepared to walk away if the terms aren't favorable.
Right.
And remember, patience is key.
Those are great tips. Now, we talked about sustainability earlier, but I think it's worth really diving a bit deeper.
Yeah, definitely.
What specific features should those eco-conscious buyers be looking for in a Patong condo?
Well, beyond those, big ticket items like solar panels,
Right.
rainwater harvesting systems,
Right.
there are a lot of smaller details that can make a big difference.
Okay.
So look for condos that use those energy efficient appliances and LED lighting.
Okay.
Ask about insulation and natural ventilation
Okay.
because those things can significantly reduce energy consumption.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to really inquire about the condo's overall environmental impact.
So it's not just about eco-friendly gadgets. It's really about a holistic approach to sustainable living.
Precisely. And remember, even those small changes can have a really big impact.
Yeah, I like that. Now let's talk about something fun, which is personalization.
Yes.
Buying a condo is an exciting opportunity to create a space that really reflects your style.
It really is.
So what trends are you seeing in Patong condo design, and what advice would you give buyers who really want to make their space their own?
Well, we're seeing a big move towards those sleek, modern designs that really maximize space and natural light.
Okay.
So think clean lines, minimalist furnishings, and a real focus on functionality.
Got it.
Natural materials like wood and stone are really popular.
Okay.
And, pops of color are used strategically to create a sense of vibrancy.
So it sounds like Patong condo design is all about striking that balance between contemporary style and a touch of that tropical flair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when it comes to personalization, the key is to really think about your lifestyle and needs.
Right.
So do you work from home?
Right.
Consider creating a dedicated workspace.
Yeah.
Are you an avid cook? Then invest in a really high-quality kitchen. Do you love to entertain? Then create a comfortable and inviting living space.
So it's really all about creating a space that reflects, like, your unique personality and priorities.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to get creative.
Right.
Use art, textiles, personal touches to add that character and warmth to your space.
I love that.
Because remember, this is your home away from home,
Right.
so make it a place you truly love.
All of this is making me want to hop on a plane to Patong right now.
I know, me too.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's talk about the financial side of things.
Right.
Because buying a condo is a big decision.
It's a big one.
And understanding, your financing options is crucial.
It's so important.
So we touched on mortgages a little bit earlier, but can you kind of break down the details a little bit further?
Sure.
Like, what are the typical interest rates and down payment requirements in Patong?
So interest rates on mortgages in Thailand, they typically range from 3% to 5%. Of course, this can vary depending on the lender, the loan term, and your financial situation.
Sure.
But that's generally the range you can expect. As for down payments, you'll generally need to put down at least 20% of the property's value.
So having a solid financial plan is essential.
Absolutely essential.
But what about those who might not be able to secure a traditional mortgage?
Yeah.
Are there alternative financing options available in Patong?
Yes, there definitely are.
Okay.
You could look into personal loans, borrowing against existing assets,
Right.
or even some developers have financing schemes, which is a great option.
Okay.
Developer financing can be particularly good for foreign buyers
Okay.
because it tends to be a little more flexible and easier to qualify for.
So it's worth exploring all the avenues to really find the financing solution that fits your needs best.
Exactly. You want to find the best fit for your situation.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Now, we've covered so much ground in this second part of our deep dive.
It's a lot.
We've explored the ins and outs of the buying process, that vibrant Patong lifestyle, the importance of sustainability, and even financing options.
It's a lot of information.
But before we move on to our final segment, is there anything else that we absolutely need to address about the Patong condo market?
We've touched on some really key points.
Yeah.
But one thing I really want to emphasize is the importance of patience and due diligence.
Right.
Buying a condo, especially in a foreign country, it is a significant investment.
It's a big point.
So don't rush into anything. Take your time, do your research, and carefully consider all your options.
That's wise advice. It's easy to get, I think, swept up in the excitement of, buying a piece of paradise,
I know.
but it's crucial to make those informed decisions.
Absolutely. And having a good team around you can really help.
All right, so we've laid a solid foundation.
We have.
Now get ready for the final part of our deep dive, where we're going to wrap things up, share some final insights, and really leave you with some thought-provoking questions to consider as you continue your Patong condo journey.
I'm excited.
Welcome back, for this final part of our Patong condo deep dive. It's been a whirlwind tour. I feel like we've uncovered so much valuable information about Patong.
I know. It's been a really deep dive, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
Yeah. We've delved into the nuances of the market, explored the different locations, and even tackled some of that nitty-gritty stuff like financing and legalities.
Yeah, we got into the weeds a little bit, but I think it's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, when we started this whole thing, I had this image of Patong in my head as this, party town.
Right.
But we've seen it's so much more than that.
Yeah, it really is.
It's really multifaceted.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's multifaceted. It offers that excitement, the relaxation, and that taste of Thai culture.
Right.
So it really does cater to a wide range of interests and personalities.
And the condo market seems to mirror that diversity, too. We've seen everything from, those budget-friendly studios to, those luxurious penthouses with postcard-worthy ocean views.
It's true. The sheer variety is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it really is.
It's clear that there's a condo out there to fit, almost every budget and lifestyle preference.
But what really struck me, honestly, was the investment potential.
Yeah.
Those rental yields that we were talking about.
Pretty incredible.
They're nothing to sneeze at.
No, definitely not. Patong's popularity as a tourist destination, coupled with its ongoing development, it makes it a really promising market for anyone looking for that long-term growth.
Yeah, and it's a win-win, right? You
Yeah.
can potentially enjoy a fantastic vacation home
Yeah,
and see a really solid return on your investment.
absolutely. But it's also important to remember that, while that potential is certainly there, all investments carry some inherent risks.
Right.
So doing that thorough research, understanding the market fluctuations, and seeking out that expert advice are non-negotiables.
I think that's true no matter what kind of investment you're looking at, honestly.
I agree.
So let's circle back to sustainability for a second, because this is something that is clearly, becoming increasingly important to buyers these days.
So important.
So what have we learned about eco-friendly condos in Patong?
Well, it's encouraging to see that developers are really embracing sustainable practices.
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing everything from solar panels and rainwater harvesting systems to energy-efficient appliances and green building materials.
Yeah.
These are becoming standard features in a lot of developments.
It seems like it's not just like a trendy addition anymore. It's becoming essential.
Absolutely. Because they benefit both the environment and the owner's wallet in the long run.
Right. It makes sense.
And it's not just about the condo itself.
Right.
Many developments are incorporating sustainable community initiatives, things like recycling programs,
Okay.
community gardens.
I like that.
Yeah,
It's good to see that holistic approach to sustainability is really gaining some traction.
I agree. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking question to ponder.
Okay. I like where this is going.
What aspect of Patong living truly resonates with you?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Is it the proximity to the beach, the vibrant nightlife, those rich cultural experiences, or maybe that attractive investment potential?
It's a good question. I think identifying what truly excites you about Patong is really crucial,
Hmm,
because once you pinpoint those priorities, it becomes so much easier to narrow down your options
right.
and find the condo that's perfect for your needs.
I agree.
Well, this has been a fantastic journey,
It really has.
and I hope that this deep dive has equipped you with the knowledge and the insights that you need to navigate the Patong condo market confidently.
Absolutely.
And remember, you can always go back and kind of revisit specific sections or details if
Yeah.
you need a refresher.
Absolutely. And, the key is to enjoy this process and
Yeah.
make it your own, because buying a condo in Patong should be an exciting and fulfilling experience.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it, our in-depth exploration of the Patong condo market. We hope you found it informative, engaging,
And empowering.
and most importantly, empowering. Now, go forth and find your piece of paradise.
Exactly. And